All right, y'all ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is back. We're in the building, y'all. It's the first show of 2014, and the crew is in the building. We can't wait to get into it. We got some what the hell. We got a why segment, and Big Rube is going to bring us a very controversial round table towards the end of the show. We happy to be here, and we happy to have y'all with us. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J's right now.
Yeah. It's about that time. It's about that time to get. Yeah.
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying,
then it must be half stepping.
ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is back, y'all. We live. We in the building for the first show of 2014. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the den. Right here, the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. We're definitely glad to have you with us tonight. Be down with us at 804-402-2893. Be down with us tonight. We're definitely happy to have you all listening to us. We know we got some new folks listening to us here in the new year, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much to all the support that we got in the previous year, but we are launching the new year, y'all, so we definitely glad that you guys are a part of it. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J, 804-402-2893. And at this time, I like to go around the room, get in with my crew, and see how everybody's doing. We got the principals here this week, and it's just the three of us, and I'm happy to look over and have this intimate setting here with my sister to my right-hand side. I got S.Y. Butler in the building, y'all.
Hello, darling.
What's up, baby?
I'm good. What's going on?
I'm doing fabulous.
Happy New Year!
You're going to be that person, huh?
Oh,
it's like
sorry. I'm happy, y'all.
The whole energy thing that you
I'm
just
happy.
did.
That was too much energy.
You just kind of weirded me out a little bit, but it's okay. It's going to be one of them nights.
Huh?
It's going to be one of those nights?
It might, yeah.
Something you said after we introduced the other fella that's sitting over there. I want to ask a question based on what you just said there, but it's time for me, of course, to introduce my brother, my partner, and my friend. He goes by the name of Big Robe.
Yo.
He goes by the name of Big Robe.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
You doing all right?
You know, things are beautiful. I can't complain. Except for the wind, man. That wind be trying to push the car to the side. I'm not feeling that.
It's a lot going on, ain't it?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, actually.
It's a lot going on. And it's funny that you mentioned the wind. I want to come back to that in just a minute. But that's why I said something that made me want to ask a question, Big Rube. I want you to answer this one first because I think you and I will probably be on the same page. Not her happy ass over there.
I'm being abused.
So yes, already. It ain't been 2 minutes into the show. We pick it on
Lord.
already. How long? Like, all right, how long into the year is it like really starting to get weird? You still saying Happy New Year? Like, when does the statute of limitations for Happy New Year expire?
48 hours.
So on the second, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I'm done. I mean, we are actually, if you really think about it, it's like part of the third to like noon on the third. But I'm over it, man. Everybody and their grandma knows it's a new year, unless they've been in a coma or something, and they just happen to be up and awake. They could give a crap about the year.
What you think about that? That's why, because obviously you disagree.
See, the reason I said that is we haven't been here since prior to Christmas. So there are listeners that we haven't spoken to or seen, and, you know, we're back. We're finally meeting up. So I'm just saying, Happy New Year, and I don't see what's wrong with that. I haven't seen you.
I know you ain't seen
So
it.
I'm saying Happy New Year.
I know. That's
You know
why.
I haven't seen you, Ruben. So I'm saying Happy New Year.
Did you do that on Facebook though?
No, I did not.
Well, you should have, because you should have did it on the New Year when
And
it was
even if
done.
I did, I typed it. I didn't say it.
I mean, that's cool.
Well,
I'm just letting you know.
This is the reason why we asked the
I
question.
don't like them.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to my brother. Said, what up, bruh? Said, listening to us. We appreciate it. Brother, thank you for being. It was good hanging out with you the other night, too. Got to hang out with Said, the live action captions, the brother that always makes our t-shirts. Y'all hear his promo throughout the show. I got a chance to hang out with that brother, and I appreciated the time we spent. I also want to ask another question that is kind of going around, and Big Group, you alluded to this. Well, first of all, my opinion on the whole Happy New Year thing, I'm okay with 1 week after you go back to work. Since today was the back to work day, you know, you got into Friday. If you still say this Friday, so if you still say Happy New Year to me next Tuesday, I might be giving you the side
Well, I
eye.
won't say it to you.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've already seen you.
It does begin to get a little weird. I had to post up on my Facebook page earlier. I was asking people what their thoughts were. I had one person that said March. I had another person that said 4th of July. Y'all tripping. I'm sorry, y'all tripping.
No.
But another thing I had on my Facebook wall that I really didn't expect to get the kind of attention that it got. It was just me being my lovingly misanthropic self and oxymoron. And they got a delay at school here in the Richmond, Virginia area tomorrow. 2-hour delay. It's not because it's going to rain. It's not because it's going to snow. It's not because it's going to have any kind of precipitation. It's because it's going to be cold. It's going to be real cold, SY. So here's what I want to know from you. We know that your mom, you raised some babies, and you can relate, whether positively or negatively, to school closings and delays. And I also know that you from up north. It's debatable where you from because you're a Jersey fraud. You're a Jersey fraud.
I am not.
You're a Jersey fraud.
I am not.
Okay.
Shout out to Chapman Street.
You're from Pennsylvania. You're not from New Jersey. I'm not gonna let you do that.
Whatever.
Anyway, what you think about them delaying school because it's cold?
I think it's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing ever.
Really?
It's just cold.
So
I stood outside 5 o'clock in the morning waiting for the bus when it's cold outside to go to school.
But I talk about wind chills at or around 0.
Okay.
You still okay with it?
Yeah, I stood outside.
Big Real, what you think?
Well, my personal opinion is, 0. Like if I breathe and it freezes right there, yeah, I need to stay in the house.
Yeah, but you're not going outside like a half an hour prior to. You know what?
Some kids, you don't know that about all kids. Number one, but the reason why the school situation the way it is because once that child gets on the bus, that becomes school responsibility. And if that bus wrecks, hit somebody some wrecks, guess who's paying that bill?
Because it's cold.
Yeah, because ice freezes at 30 degrees.
Yeah, I got that.
But so if there's ice on the ground and that bus wrecks, who's paying for that?
Well, it's not raining.
Because precipitation just doesn't happen ever. But if it freezes and that bus wrecks, it's the school's fault. And that means the county or the city's got to pay.
I mean, I can
and that's
dig
real.
It. I could dig it. I mean, and we had gotten a lot of comments and feedback from the folks on social media on this one, and it's split down the middle. And I won't call out the folks' names because I didn't get any permission to do it. But one comment I got, my cousin actually, I think that she wouldn't mind. My cousin, she's in Korea right now, and she says, "Seriously, snow and ice, just cold? Wow." I think she's kind of got the side eye with that one. I got a brother I went to high school with in Jersey City, and he says that's crazy. I've got a sister that I know that's in Atlanta who is saying that half of the bus drivers are drunk and ice and the drunk drivers don't mix. I got other folks here in the Richmond area because parents aren't taking care of getting the kids wrapped up and stuff like that. And then a couple of the parents who are okay with it are alluding to the fact that they get to be in the home a little bit later. And then I've got a couple of educators who chime in, and their position is very similar to yours. It's more about liabilities and things of that sort. It's not so much about being punk, because I created the word punkification of our kids because I remember walking through the snow to go to school, and I don't remember ever being home, for 2 hours in the morning when I'm supposed to be at school just because it's cold. But a couple of the educators chimed in that talked about busting pipes and things of that sort. So that's why I want you to comment on the educators who kind of push back with my position on, I think he's punkifying our kids, because I ain't have to wear no helmet on my bicycle, and I ain't have to stay home for 2 hours in the morning, and the kids today don't even go outside to play.
They're
I think they're pampered, and I think they're punktified. But the educators who are chiming in, the educators that are chiming in are, I understand where they're coming from. Sabrina's listening to us. What up, sis? She is saying better safe than sorry. I understand that. What's your point?
I don't agree with the educator's side. I mean, I understand frozen pipe business. I understand all that, had a house, and, I understand all those things. The school should be coming into the school, getting the school warmed up, getting it ready for the kids to come in, making sure everything is okay. The bus should have proper tires on them. The bus should be warm. The heat should be working on the bus. And, again, I don't think the kids should be outside so early. I don't think there's really that much that's going to happen because it's cold outside.
Big rope?
I don't.
Well, and that's the benefit of you growing up in Pennsylvania instead
I
of
didn't
growing
grow
up
in Pennsylvania.
or Pennsylvania, Jersey, whatever. Growing up north instead of Virginia.
That's the problem.
Well,
you all they're not used to it. Y'all not used to any cold weather and knowing how to manage. Yeah, Marcus is right. You're what's the word?
Punkified.
Yeah, that word. The kids.
And that's fine for you.
They need to
However,
move up to New York and go to school.
The situation basically is, like I said earlier, there have been times when buses have wrecked and children have been hurt or passed away.
And buses are wrecked when it's 90 degrees
Well,
outside.
no, but hear me out. But the situation is that when it's 90 degrees, it's a much less of a chance of a bus wrecking on ice or snow. Now, as far as my personal opinion, I didn't walk to school. So I don't know where the hell y'all schools were at. Maybe they were a couple blocks down the street, and that's fine. And if y'all had that many schools in your school system, that's even better. However, everybody can't walk to school, number one. And then, honestly, in this day and age, do you really want a whole bunch of kids walking to school?
I can dig it, man.
But
I hear you.
But I understand how y'all feel about it. I agree on some level, but when it's all said and done, it's about protecting the kids. If it was like a model school, I would roll with you. But there are kids who live 10 miles away from school.
I could dig it. I got a hit from a sister in Chicago who said that they have days built into the school year when they do.
They do that in Virginia too.
When they do this, so I could dig it. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Let's move on. I got a bunch of stuff and what the hell that I want to get to.
Yeah.
And when y'all hear all of that screaming and stuff, no, we're not having orgies in the back. We got a Zumba class that goes on next door. That's what. Well. Not while we're on the air.
Don't touch me there. Don't touch me there.
Not while we're on the air.
Stop touching me.
You know what I mean?
That's why. Leave me alone.
It's a Zumba class next door, and so usually for the first hour of all of our shows, Monday through Thursday here, when we broadcast live talk shows, you're gonna hear a whole lot of sexual sounding sounds. And it's usually a bunch of fine-ass sisters Zumbaing it up. So we wish that there were windows in this room so that we can watch them. It's the pervert in me. Or let me rephrase that, the voyeur in me. Voyeur sounds better than pervert.
I like that a lot
voyeur
better.
Sounds better than pervert, yeah. But we can't watch the Zumba classes. We can just hear them. But ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. All right, let's just get to a couple of things. Two things I want to hit on that are kind of tragic. The first is the death of James' Uncle Phil Avery. We know that he passed away on Tuesday, on New Year's Eve, actually. Uncle Phil of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And he is, of course, well beloved by pretty much anybody who ever watched that show. And so what I wanted to do is to kind of get some thoughts about the show, about Uncle Phil, if anybody had anything. I also wanted to talk about great TV dads because, you know, when you think about great TV dads, you gotta put Uncle Phil way up there. So that's why I want you on this one first. When you got the news on James Avery, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I was sad. I was like, no. Now what are you going to do when Will burns down the kitchen?
Will!
Can I borrow the car? No. Yeah, I was sad.
Yeah.
I was very sad. What a loss.
Yeah. Big Robe, we getting a couple of hits in social media. One, Joy is saying, what's happening to you as well as USY and myself.
Joy.
So what's up, Joy? Sabrina and K-Dub are listening to us down in the ATL.
Hey.
K-Dub says that, let me try to read his comment here. He's checking on the percentage of the accidents that would happen with the ice. So that's what they're kind of alluding to. So keeping in mind, K-Dub and I are both from New Jersey, so we both are kind of giving you the side eye with that. But anyway, back to Uncle Phil. What's your thoughts, man?
I mean, it was sad. I mean, but, you know, I didn't dwell on it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
To me, I dwell on people who are that I know who are close to me. Right. That's my thing.
No, I can dig it, and that's a fair position. I know that a lot of folks in social media, because of that's what we do. You know, anytime there's something that's in the news, sensationalized or not, everybody's going to want to have comments about it. And I'll be honest with you, it was one of my favorite shows. But once they switched out Janet Hubert, I just lost interest in the show. No disrespect to Daphne, but I just didn't like the show no more after the original Aunt Viv left the show. But Uncle Phil was cool to me. I liked Uncle Phil. He reminded me of, you know, a cool old dude. Like, nobody in my universe, he didn't remind me of like my own dad or my own uncles or anything like that. But he just was a real cool uncle. He was the kind of uncle who was stern and tough. But, you know, if something went down, he held you down. He had your back. And I think that in our communities, if we had more cats around like Uncle Phil, then we would have a lot more strong black men walking around a lot more. Not to say that we don't have a lot of strong black men. I said a lot more. Also keeping in mind what Uncle Phil did. Now, of course, the show is fictional. We obviously know that the show is fictional. But for me, everything comes back to a social issue. This is a man who, he took in his wife's nephew. He took in not only his wife's nephew, but he took in his wife's nephew who lived on the other side of the country who had issues. And he took him in and he raised him as if he was his own. That's a role model. That's the man. That's a role model right there. So I just wanted to pay homage to James Avery and also wanted to pay homage to the character of Uncle Phil and just kind of move on from there. You know how Steppin Marcus J. I know we talked a little bit about the death of Paul Walker last month when the Fast and Furious star tragically died in a car accident the weekend of Thanksgiving. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, Rube, I want you in on this one first. Reason why I wanted to bring this up, and obviously it's old news, he's gone. But what I wanted to bring up is the autopsy report came out the other day. And there was no drugs, no alcohol, none of that kind of stuff in any of their systems. However, what we now know was that speed, which, I mean, obviously we knew that, you know, from just looking at it. But speed has now been confirmed as being a factor in the crash. They were going in excess of 100 miles an hour, and the driver lost control. But what tripped me out was the autopsies, where they said that both drivers were in the defensive pugilistic position. Translation, they had their hands up because they saw the accident about to happen. But when you think about the injuries, that's the part that just blew my mind. They said he broke his left jaw, he broke his clavicle, he broke pretty much all his ribs, he broke his wrist, he broke his arm, and he broke his pelvis, and he broke his spine. And he didn't die immediately. They said he died probably after about a minute, which I guess is immediately, but they had very little like smoke inside his lungs, which suggested he was probably gone before it caught on fire, whereas the other guy had no smoke in his lungs, which means he probably died on impact. The horrificness of those injuries and the fact that it was just so unnecessary, it didn't have to happen. I mean, just give me a quick thought on those injuries. What do you think?
I mean, if anything, this should tell you that real life and the movies are two different things. You know, if you drive 100 miles per hour in the movies, you might get a scratch. You drive 100 miles per hour in real life, you might not make it. You know, at this point in time, it's all about being real. And, you know, all I can say is, you know, as WWE says, don't try this at home. Yeah, don't be an idiot. Don't drive 100 miles per hour on a road in the city. You know, if you're going to do that in the desert, then you do that in the desert. Don't do it in the city, man. That's just stupid. So, I mean, for all the people out there, don't be stupid. It's a movie. There's a reason why it's a movie, and those people walk away.
That's why, before I get your comment, I want to say what's up to Michelle. Michelle's listening to us. Michelle's checking in. What's up, girl?
Michelle.
And I also want to give a shout out to my brother T. Hunt is listening to us as well. T. Hunt likes the word punctified. And yes, my brother, you can use it anytime you want.
You know, I say it 3 times fast if I can get it out right.
Yeah, no doubt. What's your thoughts, S.Y., Paul Walker's injuries?
Oh, my God. Like, what's not broken?
Yeah.
And, you know, even if he did somehow not die,
on
even if he did live,
oh man,
would you want to live with all those injuries? You know, he probably would just be a vegetable.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those situations where mercifully they both died pretty much right when it happened. So ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. All right, I'm getting a clarification on that comment from K-Dub. He's saying that it thinks it tells you that the media has no respect for the families. It made me cringe hearing about it. I can imagine the pain knowing that and how it hurt his family. I think they're referring to the Paul Walker thing, so I'm kind of mixing up comments there. But want to keep it moving. This next one is the epitome of why we do what the hell. Today's jackass, today's dumbass, whatever you want to call them. I'm getting this one from MTV.com. MTV.com. This is about a dude that dressed up as a cop. And he goes and he's impersonating police. And then he goes and pulls over a woman in her car. Come to find out the woman he pulled over was actually a cop herself. Jonathan, 24-year-old Florida man, Jonathan Charles Stevens, flagged down a real officer. And this was last week in Tampa. Flashed the red and blues that he paced the top of his white Chevy Tahoe. He pulled her over, explained that he was Homeland Security agent who had observed the reckless driver. He allegedly presented a fake badge and a real gun to prove his credentials, but the officer grew suspicious and grilled him until he admitted the ruse. She arrested him for possessing the illegal firearm and for impersonating an officer, the exact same crime he'd previously been arrested for back in September. And so my question to this jackass is, why not just join the academy yourself? So that's why I want to get your opinion on this one first, my sister. What you got?
You're an idiot. He's just a complete idiot. And, you know, he probably figured, like, what are the chances of me, you know, acting like a moron, pulling somebody over and getting a real cop?
Yeah.
Like, gotcha.
Yeah, big rube. Big rube. I don't even know how to even approach this one, dude. I mean, please give us, I mean, does this count for, you know, the phrase we used to use?
Well, I mean, you know, he probably does it to get women, and he's unsuccessful, obviously. But, you know, it's one of those things that she might have been hot. And he's like, well, let me pull over. He had no reason to think why, you know, she would be a cop. But, yeah, you know, I don't think it's natural selection. I think it's just more stupidity. Natural selection, you got to really do some work. And for that, he's been arrested for before. He's just a 2-time loser.
You know, it sounds to me like you justifying it, which is blowing my mind right
Justifying
now.
What?
It sounds to me like you're justifying his bad behavior by not calling him the jackass that we know he is.
Well, no, I did. I called him stupid. He's very stupid.
Right.
I mean, but, you know, but the thing about it is he's got arrested for it before.
I want to know why it's not natural selection, though.
It's not natural selection because when it's all said and done, he didn't do anything, like, ultimately dumb, like stick a firecracker in his butt. You know, he just really just...
So the definition of dumb is sticking a firecracker in your butt? Like, there aren't any dumb people in the world?
No, that's natural selection. Sticking firecracker in your butt is natural selection. Okay. This guy just, I'm going to pick up a girl, or I just want to have some fun, so I'm going to go and dress up as a cop and pull some people over, see what's up. Now, the thing I would be worried more about is the firearm itself. Because, like, what was he going to do with her? Was he going to give her a fake ticket? That's my only question. Was he gonna give her like a fake ticket or something, or he's gonna be like, hey, look, if you do something for me, I do something for you. I mean, what was his purpose? And that's just stupidity. Maybe he wanted to, like I said, she might have been cute enough for him to pull over. Hey, I pull it over, and lo and behold, guess what? Yeah, I'm a cop, just to let you know. Oh, I'm an idiot. Thanks.
It's a lot of idiocracy going on with this one.
Yeah.
The whole thing about. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff going on here. One, because I'm not a lawyer in Florida, I don't know what kind of. Well, I should say crime, but I don't know what kind of jail time.
Oh, it's probably a felony.
My guess
or
is
misdemeanor. Excuse me.
My guess is it's probably a high level misdemeanor, a low level felony, and I suppose maybe we can look that up. But why is he on the street in September? I mean, why is he on the street in December after he just did this in September? You know what I mean? Like, we can't put the dude in jail for 2 months. I mean, did he walk away on a fine? I mean, I guess this is stuff that we could look up. But I mean, this is scary. And here's why it's scary. You got this dude with a loaded illegal gun who's walking around pulling women over. Like, seriously, like the fact that this woman happened to be a cop and knew, the way to deal with this is a positive. But what if this had been, a woman who just had no clue? Mm-hmm. And he pulls her over and he puts her in the back of the squad car under the ruse of taking her in, and she doesn't know her rights and she doesn't know how to fight with him. I mean, any number of things. That's why you're the lady of the house. I mean, tell me what you think about that.
I'm thinking, I'd be afraid. I wouldn't really know the difference in the fake badge and the real badge.
Right.
I won't know. So, of course, I'm going to listen. And, I'm thinking worst comes to worst, some sort of assault that's about to happen to me.
Right.
So I think it is freaking damn good that he ran up on the lady that he did.
Yeah, the wrong one.
And, she got him.
Yeah.
Because imagine, I really feel like some sort of assault would have been going on if she wasn't who she was.
Well, let me ask this then. What other possible reason could there be to be pulling these people over if there wasn't some sort of crime that was going to happen
I can't think of
after the initial crime of even, impersonate the officer?
Yeah, I can't even think of one.
The sad thing is you can think of one, and that what we are thinking of is the scary part. That's the scary part. Ain't no how Steppin Marcus J. Here's one. We don't often get an opportunity to do follow-ups. But this is a follow-up to a story that we did a few months ago where you had the man on the airplane who smacked a crying baby, and he called he told the mother to shut that N-word baby up. This guy, he ends up getting 8 months in prison. Got 8 months in prison for it. And he's from Idaho, of course, 19-month-old baby boy on a Delta flight back in February of last year. Ricky Hunley was his name. They were on a flight from Minnesota down to Atlanta when this happened. Apparently, he was on his way to make a decision on his son, who was getting ready to pass away from an insulin overdose. The son ended up dying the next day. So obviously, we know that his stress level was high. He was under duress. Not making excuses, just stating the facts when he did this. And the prosecuting attorney in this case recommended 6 months in prison, Big Rube, and the judge decided to give him 8. And of course, his attorneys are not happy with it, but it is what it is. So what's your thoughts on this story? We talked about it when it happened, and we all kind of gave the tough guy, speak with your chest out arguments about it. If that had been my kid, I would have did this and that. I think we all did that, and I think we were all sincere in doing that. But now that the legal process has run its course and the guy's going to jail, what's your thoughts on it now?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out if I should feel bad. If you want me to feel bad for this dude, or
I don't want you to feel anything unless it's legitimately how you feel.
The guy, they wanted 6 months. He got 8 months. I mean, I guess the question here is, did he get the time for slapping the baby, or get the time for calling him an N baby? That's the question here. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't remember this. And I guess. I guess, the judge decided to give him extra 2 months to think about it because, he he kind of spoke irrationally. I would say.
Right.
So I'm cool with it. I mean, 8 months.
That's why. What you think about this?
Yeah, I'm cool with it too. He got some time. I don't know, how you would consider or what determines how much time he gets for calling the baby a name and slapping the baby.
Right.
But I'm glad he got some time for doing it.
Right. Here's the thing with it, man. There's a lot of stuff with this, and I don't want to take a whole lot of time on it, but to me, he gets the time for the assault. Mm-hmm. He gets the time for the assault. And then when you throw in the hate crime aspect of it, mm-hmm. he probably gets some time for that. Because anytime somebody white calls somebody black the N-word, mm-hmm. you can argue that there's some hate crime stuff going on. Here's my problem with it. Anybody that knows me knows I don't get down with the N-word, period. I don't care who says it. I'm just as mad if Ruben says it as I would be if my white friend says it. I'm not feeling that word. Mm-hmm. And so I'm a little bit conflicted with regards to that, but I do have no problem with this guy going to prison mm-hmm. for however long. You slapped a baby in the face. Mm-hmm. You slapped a baby in the face. Yeah, I mean that can be considered child abuse. He could have gotten a whole mm-hmm. lot worse than 8 months in prison. Big Rube, you making the face. What's up, man?
Yeah, I guess we don't hear a lot of prosecution on baby slaps.
That's because you don't see jackasses going around slapping other people's babies, man.
But I mean, I'm not, once again, I'm not condemning. I'm not saying he didn't deserve what he got because he did. I guess it's just to me, like I said, I think this is the first. I probably wasn't here when y'all talked about it. I think it was the first time I heard. It's just weird. I mean, who would literally just
open hand slapped a baby who was on an airplane crying,
and that's only worth 6 months.
That was when I heard the story. When I heard
6 for that and 2 for the N-word.
Maybe, yeah,
but
maybe.
I mean, but the thing about, I guess my thing about it is
open hand slap to the face of somebody else's kid.
I mean, assault is assault. Regular assault is longer than 6 months.
Well,
now they're saying because it's a kid.
But where's the child abuse? I mean, you just abused the child.
Yeah, that's right. I guess now that I think about it more, I'm trying to figure out why he only got 8 months.
And the prosecution only recommended 6. So yeah, I'm with you.
Which kind of delves in a little deeper if you want to go that deep. I mean, let's see, 6. Hey, I want to only give him 6 months. What state are you in? Number one, and then number two, who are you? Who's the prosecuting attorney? Because I'm trying to understand. Because if you hit a person, you're getting like 2 years. Now you only getting that much. Now, yeah, but are you only getting that much? One, because you're old, or two, because I mean, just where you're at. I guess I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know either. I mean, I've gotten to the point where when we're looking at the amounts of times that people get for things, they fire me up, but it's difficult for me to debate them because I don't know all of the logistics of the story. Like I had heard wind of a story and I couldn't find the specific and I couldn't substantiate the legitimacy of it. But I had caught wind of a story, and if I find it, we'll do it on another show, where a man is in prison for life. He's already served 18 years for life for a crime that's no longer a crime. Like when he was convicted, it was a life crime. It was a nonviolent crime. Whatever it was he did, he got life for it. And though that crime has subsequently been written off of the books, it's not even a crime anymore. And of course, they're looking to get clemency from the president. And so we talked about the kid who was selling, LSD through the mail, and he got life in prison. And so, I mean, you got these nonviolent people, and then you get somebody who slaps a baby. He gets basically a slap in the wrist when you compare it to that stuff. And then you get George Zimmerman, who shoots a kid in the chest and goes home. And then you get Marissa Alexander, who shot in the ceiling, and she got life. So you wonder, like, what the hell is going on in these court systems, and why do these things happen? I'll be honest with you. When I decided we're going to do this story tonight, I didn't expect for it to take this turn. Like, I expected this to kind of recap it, because we did do the story, but I'm not sure where you were that day. That's why you may remember we did it. And I just, I wanted to recap, because we rarely get an opportunity to recap an old story. And now I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm not sure really how I feel about that, but we can, if anybody has any other comment on that, we can talk about it later on in the show. Ain't No How Steppin' with Marcus J. Live from the Den, LegacyInternetRadio.com.